camera moves down a dusty corridor, dimly lit by flickering bulbs. The air feels heavy, tense, as if something dark waits just beyond sight. In the deep silence of a small forgotten town, there lies an antique shop known for its rare, eerie items. But in the shadows of its back room hides something truly sinister. A doll named Anabelle. Annabelle's story began decades ago when she belonged to a little girl who fell mysteriously ill, leaving the doll abandoned and cursed. It was said that Annabelle could trap the souls of those who touched her. Over the years, the whispers of her haunting grew. But one family would soon learn that Annabelle's legend was no mere story. The Smith family had just moved into the old house on the outskirts of town. While exploring the attic, their teenage daughter Lily stumbled upon Annabelle Dusty, and forgotten Annabelle sat upright in a wooden chest, her lifelike eyes gleaming, almost as if waiting. From that night onward, everything changed. Lily began hearing whispers, at night low and indistinct, filling the quiet halls of the house. Shadows seemed to move on their own, flickering in the corners of her vision. And the doll Annabelle seemed to change, her smile growing darker, her eyes more alive. One night, Lily woke up to the sound of giggling. The room was dark, shadows thick and oppressive. She turned on her bedside lamp, only to find Annabelle sitting at the edge of her bed, staring at her with a twisted grin. The family was terrified. Each night brought new horrors, objects moving on their own doors, slamming shut, the lights flickering as if under Annabelle's control. Her shadow seemed to stretch larger on the walls, taking on a life of its own. One evening, as the family huddled together in the living room, a loud crash echoed from the hallway. They turned horrified to see Annabelle sitting upright in the doorway, watching them with a chilling, unblinking stare. Desperation set in. They tried everything, locking Annabelle in a closet, throwing her away, even burying her in the backyard. But every time she returned, each time more malevolent than before. In a final attempt to rid themselves of Annabelle's curse, they performed an ancient ritual. The family gathered around Annabelle, chanting in desperation. As the chanting grew louder, the candlelight flickered, and Annabelle's shadow stretched, twisting into a monstrous shape. Suddenly, the candles extinguished, plunging them into darkness. A freezing cold swept over the room, and in the silence, her eyes opened. Glowing red, Annabelle's sinister smile widened almost lifelike. The family stood frozen in terror as Annabelle's laughter echoed through the room, a sound so twisted, so chilling, it seemed to burrow deep into their minds. She was more than a doll. Now, she was a force they could never escape. With dawn approaching, the house stood silent, but as the first light touched the windows, a dark shape appeared behind the glass. Annabelle watching and waiting for the next family who dared to cross her path. And so, Annabelle remains a cursed soul, forever lurking, waiting to unleash her wrath on anyone who dares take her home.
Before you leave, don't look back. The darkness of midnight frights lingers here, waiting to pull you into the shadows. Subscribe if you dare, but beware, once you're in, the stories will never let you go.